Looking to make a handmade Valentine's card this holiday season? In this video right here, we're going to show you how to make the perfect scratch away card for rewards for your lover out there, coming at you right now. Happy Valentine's Day to you all. Wild coming at you from my creative control playlist where I try to bring you the best tips, tricks, and tutorials, but this time we're doing something a little special for the holiday. I'm doing a collaboration with my friend Kelvers, who made some awesome drawings that we're all going to share with you, but you can use those drawings to turn them into a handmade scratch away reward Valentine's Day card out there for anybody that's a little special in your life. I want to show you how to make these, but let me show you the artwork really quick. Let's go over to that. Our artist was kind enough to give us two drawings, one of a female blowing heart kisses and one of a boy holding heart balloons. Both look fantastic. Both are sized for standard sheet paper, 8.5 by 11 for a horizontal card. And if you want to do a vertical card, we have one that's 11 by 8.5 for the vertical card. So you can do both styles if you'd like to. All images are free to download in the link in the description below, so make sure you check that out. And all of this art was provided by our artist Kelvers, who is a streamer on Twitch on the creative section. Twitch.tv/Kelvers is how you can follow her. Also, she has a Tumblr, which I'll link below, and she does webcomics. If you ever want to check out her webcomic, I will link that in the description below as well. And you can follow her on Twitter and Instagram, which I will also link in the description below, because you can help her out and even donate to her on her Patreon if you so much want to help her out that much more, because she is an excellent artist and I love all the art that she does. The supplies you're going to need for this project are paper for printing, parchment paper or wax paper, pen or marker, scissors, a mixing bowl, acrylic paint, dish soap or detergent, paintbrush, and any clear packing tape will do. Once you have your graphics downloaded, make sure to print them out. I recommend using a thicker grade of paper so you don't scratch through, but any paper will do. Make sure you fold the cards the appropriate way that you want to do it for your design. I printed mine out slightly a little bit bigger so it's easier for you to see in this tutorial, but I did a vertical one and a horizontal one. From there, we have to make sure we do our hearts perfectly and protect them, and to do that, we're going to use our wax or parchment paper to trace the hearts. Each heart is a little bit of a different size, so make sure you do each one that you plan on painting over. Take your pen and outtrace the outside line of the heart, and from here we can put our clear packing tape. If you don't have a 1-inch tape, you can use Scotch tape, that's fine. You're just going to require just a few more strands. Make sure you take all the strands and cover from the top of the heart all the way to the bottom of the heart. And make sure that you do overlapping strips of tape on top of each other, so this way it's easy to pull off. And make sure you don't press the tape down hard, because if it's pressed down too hard, it's going to be, again, hard to peel off from the parchment or wax paper. Once you're done taping your hearts, now you got to cut each and every one of them out. Make sure to go slowly here. It doesn't have to be an accurate science. You just have to more or less get around the general shape of the heart. It's okay if it's a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger. Don't beat yourself up if it's not perfect, because it's okay. It's a handmade card. It shouldn't be perfect. Have fun with it. Before we lay our hearts down, you have to write some nice Valentine's Day messages. This can be anything from sweet little somethings to your loved one, or even some rewards, or if you're an adult, maybe something a little more advanced out there to get a little cheer out of your Valentine's Day lover. But feel free to fill in whatever three that you want. I recommend rewards because it kind of makes it fun, and tell them that they can only scratch off just one. Now that your hearts are ready to rock and roll, we have to take the tape off of the parchment paper, and do that, generally just take the edge of your fingernail or finger and kind of just work that edge a little bit, and it will separate from the wax paper or parchment paper. From there, we just have to lay it down on our card, and this actually is one of the harder parts because lining it up is very tricky because you kind of only get one shot at it. So my advice is, don't worry about it. Get it as close as you can. It's a handmade card. It's going to have that handmade feel to it. So if you can get it anywhere close to it, that's going to work for the most part of it. Now, with all of our hearts covered with the clear packing tape, we need to make a nice thin paint, and to do that, we're going to use any of your favorite acrylic colors. I'm going to use pink, white, and some red. Just mix it up to whatever holiday Valentine's colors that you like. What you need to do, though, is make sure you have 1 part acrylic paint to 1 part dish soap. And what this does is it changes the viscosity of the paint to make it very pliable and mendable, and it never truly will adhere to a full polymerization of a plastic that acrylic paint is. It'll leave it very brittle, and that's what allows us to make it scratchable when we take a hard surface to it. So make sure you mix that up very, very thoroughly across your entire paint. And don't be worried, depending on what type of paint you use or the type of paint that you bought, it might come out a little watery, and that's fine. That just means you have to use a few extra coats of paint to cover up the writing. So don't be afraid you have to use 3, 4, or even 5 coats of paint to protect what you wrote. Now that all of our paints and colors are mixed up, basically all we have to do is just fill in our hearts. And to do that, I'm just going to use this nice acrylic synthetic brush here, and I'm going to fill it in. You might notice that it's very thin, and that's how it's going to come out, because that's when it's thin, that's what makes it very brittle. So don't be worried, because I'm going to have to generally do about 3 to 4 coats on this. That way I get a nice thick texture on top of that, so that way nobody can see through the actual writing that is on the card. So don't be afraid you have to do extra coats on top of your painting, because you want to protect those secret little hidden messages. If you want to give your hearts a little more design and style, one of my favorite things to do is acrylic pours, and you can replicate that on your hearts. Mix up some white or any other color that will be in contrast to the first color you used, and make it just as thin as you did. Don't wait for your paint to fully dry. Go back in and add some of the adjacent color, for me it's white, and slowly start dabbing and ribbing in color. And this is going to add a bunch of different effects in there. You're going to get some cells, you're going to get some ribbons, and you're going to get some cracks and maybe even some bubbles that come out that add all of this beautiful texture to your heart and give it kind of that homemade feel that you're trying to add. So feel free to experiment. What I gave you here are just basic guidelines. Feel free to make it your own. For me, I wanted to add a few of these swirls because I think it looks just fun and fantastic. When you're happy and you're all done, feel free to do as many cards as you want. Feel free to use all of the graphics that Kelver's provided for you. They're awesome, they're fun. Give some to a couple boys, to a couple girls. They're really fun to watch people scratch them off. Just go at your own pace, make a few different colors with the different hearts and balloons or the blown kisses. That's what makes it so much fun, is you can personalize these for each person that you're giving it out to. And hey, maybe some special person will unscratch a really fun reward. When you have completed all of your cards that you like to make sure you let them dry out for 24 hours at least, and then they will be ready to scratch off. And they come off a little flaky, so make sure you do them in an area where you either have a paper towel or some place for it to catch all the loose flakes from the acrylic. But they will scratch off just easily, and they're really fun to do. So make sure you find a sweet Valentine's Day out there that you can pass this on to and have a little fun, because these are just absolutely great. And once again, I want to thank my friend Kelver's out there, and make sure you toss her a little bit of love, because she helped us out with these great Valentine's Day cards, and she is just terrific. So pass her a little bit of love as well. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. These turned out excellent, and I love them. They're really fun to hand out, and the artwork's all free, so remember, link in the description below, free for you to use. And if you can do me a favor, make sure you toss Kelver's a nice follow on Twitch and Twitter. That way you show her some support. And make sure to follow her on her other social medias. I'll make sure to link them below, because this was awesome artwork that she worked really hard on for all you guys out there. And feel free to use it for wherever you want, because once again, it is free. I will see you guys all in the next painting tutorial, or even maybe a nice little fun craft project like this. Make sure to follow me on my social media as well, and I will see you guys next time. Take care and peace.